All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about a wild video out of Kazakhstan that has literally sparked a global debate. Are we looking at a sign of an ancient, world-ending prophecy, or just a really fascinating trick of nature? Let's figure it out together.
So, it all kicked off with this single image. An image that just exploded online, captivating millions and prompting one simple but huge question. What in the world are we looking at here?
Okay, so to really get this, you have to understand the context. The world's feeling pretty on edge right now, right? And then, out of nowhere, this bizarre image from a super remote mountain range just cuts through all the noise. It made us all stop and ask, what does this mean?
Okay, first up, let's take a closer look at the video itself, and then we'll get into the seriously chilling local stories that have been floating around this place for generations.
Now, just look at the details here. The thing that gets everybody is that it just doesn't look natural, does it? It's this clean, straight, vertical cut through solid rock. The edges are weirdly smooth. Our brains are hardwired to see patterns, and when you see something this perfect, you don't think random crack, you think door. You think someone made this. And if the image wasn't weird enough, the local folklore just takes it to another level. Elders in the region tell these stories about a heavy sense of fear around the area. Some even say that on really cold, quiet nights, you can hear these heavy, grinding sounds coming from deep inside the mountain, as if something big is moving around in there.
Okay, so this is where things get really fascinating. For a lot of people, this isn't just a rock formation. They see a direct link to a really powerful, ancient prophecy from Islamic scripture.
So, to get the connection, you first need to know about Ya'juj and Ma'juj. You might know them by another name, Gog and Magog. In Islamic tradition, they're this huge, destructive force of chaos, a nation that was sealed away a long, long time ago.
The prophecy itself lays it out pretty clearly. The story goes that this nation was causing all kinds of destruction. The people were desperate, so they begged a great ruler named Dul Qarnayn for help. And what did he do? He built this incredible, impassable wall out of iron and molten copper, trapping them behind it until the end of days.
And here's where the timing becomes everything. This video didn't just pop up randomly. It went viral right before Ramadan, which is a really important time for Muslims. So for many, this felt like way more than a coincidence. It felt like a sign that the ancient wall was finally starting to fail.
But okay, let's pump the brakes on prophecy for just a second. There's a whole other side of this story, a completely different way of looking at it, and this one comes straight from geology. You see, geologists look at this, and they see something powerful but totally natural. It's a process called frost wedging. Think of it like this. Over centuries, tectonic pressure puts stress on the rock. Water gets into tiny little cracks. Then, every year, that water freezes, expands, and acts like a tiny jackhammer, pushing the rock apart just a little bit more. Do that for hundreds or thousands of years, and you can get a massive fracture that looks unbelievably straight.
So here we are, with two completely opposite explanations. On one side, you have a supernatural wall made of iron, holding back a force of chaos, and on the other, a textbook example of geology, combined with our brain's love for finding familiar patterns in random shapes.
And this brings up a huge question from the science side of things. I mean, think about it. An enormous wall of iron and copper? In today's world, with satellites that can practically read a license plate from space, with drones and ground-penetrating radar, could something that massive really stay hidden? Wouldn't we find some kind of physical proof?
But you know, maybe the most important question isn't just, what is it? Maybe the more interesting question is, why do we care so much? Why did this one picture grab the entire world's attention?
Well, it's because we're human. We're wired to look for meaning, especially when things feel uncertain. And when the world feels as chaotic as it does now, we look even harder for signs and patterns. This image was like a lightning rod for all of that collective anxiety, curiosity, and our deep need to make sense of it all.
And that's really the power of it, isn't it? It just takes one single strange picture to become a mirror, reflecting all of our shared hopes and fears about the future right back at us. So this all brings us to a really important final thought. Because no matter what you believe this thing is, a door, a crack, whatever, it started a huge and vital conversation about how we see the world.
You know, if you look at it from a faith perspective, the point of signs like this isn't really to scare people into submission. The idea is that they're supposed to be a wake-up call, a nudge to make us look at ourselves, reflect, and maybe try to be better people. It's almost like we have two basic tools to understand our world, right? You've got reason, which pushes us to ask questions and investigate the physical stuff, and then you've got faith, which helps us think about our purpose and what it all means. This whole story is a perfect reminder that maybe we need both.
So, maybe the most important thing about this door isn't what it's made of or how it got there. Maybe the true importance lies in what it made us do. It got all of us, all around the world, talking, debating, thinking, and questioning. And maybe that's the real point.
So in the end, that's the question we're all left with. Is it a warning from a prophecy, an incredible natural wonder, or is it simply a mirror, reminding us to look inside ourselves? What you see when you look at that door in the mountains probably says as much about you as it does about the mountain. Thanks so much for joining me.